All right, gentlemen, let's work. Ready and break. It's that time again. It's been a whole 24 hours since my monster headache of trying to work on this last time. But I will have you know, I've made incredible progress since then. Unbelievable. Look at all that. Look at all that freaking work. And Disney doesn't know how to copyright this one because it's all my own dialogue, and their AI system to track copyright is soundtrack based. So I got away from my last stream without even a single claim. Like, not even a single second did they claim, which is really funny. So if I revoice the entire show in Mando'a, could I just release the whole thing on YouTube? Make buku bucks? No, they'd find a way. But kind of funny, just doing that. It has no clue what to do with all this Mando'a. So I've done all this work. Where did I end last time? I think last night I ended like back here. Hey, Shoya, just the man I wanted to see. Any time you're able to pitch in tonight would be much appreciated, because this is a lot of Mando'a going into this conversation. Tell me if this is appropriate, but where is it? So here, when talking about Moff Gideon, I do have Paz use the word demagolka, which I know is like, I think, the most extreme word that you can use about a person as a curse towards them. You know, it would probably translate more accurately to like mother effer or something, but I'm not going to put that in the title. This is my Star Wars film. I mean, it's a horrible thing. So I think Bastard like gets the point across for it without making my show rated R. So I did do that. And having Paz deliver that line works really well too. So what I've done here, especially for this section, is I'm trying to create a tension between the man Din Djarin has become versus this Mandalorian tradition. While he has been raised in this clan his whole life, I want the impact of him becoming a father to Grogu to genuinely change him, to where now he feels even a little bit awkward around the Mandalorians. There's still, of course, his family. This is before he's apostatized. The Golka is basically... Okay. Alright, I like it then. And I love how they make that word come from the old Knights of the Old Republic comics. Demagog. What a crazy storyline. What's the bounty hunter in that called? The Mandalorian? Roland. Roland? Yeah. What a... if you haven't read those comics, man, you got to. Can you imagine if HBO got the rights to that Knights of the Old Republic comic series and would adapt that to TV? Whoo! I feel like they already poisoned it with the Acolyte, since there are some minor similarities between the storylines, just in terms of like masters caught in the master apprentice type of drama. So Din is a little just more hesitant. Number one, because he has this dark saber and doesn't really want that responsibility, similar to Satine. Because he knows it's going to change how everybody looks at him. And he's not, like, Din Djarin is not a leader. I mean, you could maybe say he's more of like a loyal friend type. And yeah, his friendship and his sincerity causes people to flock to him in a way. He creates bonds, but he's not like a rally the troops type of leader. So the role of Mandalore just isn't suited for him. But he's got the Darksaber, and he knows the rules behind it. He knows this is going to like complicate his relationship with all of his Mandalorians. He misses Grogu. He's just in a bad place right now. Paz is pressing him. How did you get that? I defeated him off Gideon. How did you do it? I changed some of these voice lines from the original. Because I want Paz to be like pressuring him. Because I think Paz is just naturally suspicious of how he got the saber. And he's looking for a reason to attack Din, essentially, to challenge him, which he ends up doing. So he's kind of pressing him, looking, hey, did you do this dishonorably? Din's like, he knows this answer is going to upset Paz. But he's like, hey, I captured him, and the New Republic took him as a prisoner. They wanted to interrogate him. This is where Paz comes along. Death alone is justice for that Demogolka. Armor strolls in. Paz is correct. Blood of millions of Mandalorians is on his hands, talking about Gideon. Din kind of argues back. The New Republic Tribunal will execute him for his crimes. And the armor like snaps right back at him. Boom. So you get that like a little flare of anger right as the forge kicks on. Showing that no, like Din did not do the Mandalorian thing in the Moff Gideon scenario. You know, if it were Paz in that situation, if it were Bo-Katan, Gideon would be a corpse. His head would be rolling on the ground. And they'd be raising the Darksaber as and claiming the title of Mandalore. So you've got this tension of, I mean, Din seems a little bit unsuited for this role, a little bit weak and soft on this stuff, and I wanted to show because he's a father now, and that's all. It's in the back of his mind. That'd be dope. Personally, I want to see Open Seasons and Bounty Hunter adapted to a show. That would be cool, too. Yeah. Yeah, they need to... I would definitely be in support of, like, taking Tony Gilroy after Andor. I don't think he would want to do this. But give him, like, George Lucas's Underworld scripts. Say, bring these to life, my man. I actually would support that. So then the armor starts talking about songs of eons past, tell of the mythosaur. Shoya, I could not find a Mando'a word for mythosaur. Do you know? I just have her say the mythosaur. I mean, she says it like in the accent, but I looked and looked and looked. I couldn't find anything like that directly. There's one for like the mythosaur skull. But it's talking about like the emblem and the actual skull. I want to talk about the whole creature as a whole. So she tells this prediction. Now here's where I like strongly deviate from the Disney Plus show. Again, this is Death Watch. We are in a Death Watch sect. These people are kind of cultish. They want Mandalore restored to its former glory, you know, a warrior tribe respected and feared by all. The show makes her seem so soft through all this conversation, and like she just wants to be a big happy family, and I think they kind of neutered her character by doing this. So here I have when she's talking about this. Yeah, there isn't one. Interesting. Okay, I guess I'll just roll with the basic pronunciation. Mythosaur, she kind of says. Let me make sure my stinking sound is... It's probably doing it again, isn't it? Oh, it's on. Okay. So, she gives this, like, prediction of these ancient songs. Songs of eons past. I really like that they use that in Disney as well, which... That is, like, an actual Mando'a phrase. that like directly translates really well. So I like that. I kept that in there. Just changed the wording a little bit. And then I transitioned to this, though. Listen in the background. I have the Death Watch theme playing. This is the Death Watch bunker from the Clone Wars. So you're getting these undertones of something a little bit more sinister. Do you see the difference there? Like, the armor isn't doing this big happy family thing. She wants to restore Death Watch. She wants the way spread throughout the galaxy. She's keeping the oral traditions alive. Yeah. Usually when you want to translate that, you make it something like Where Ulik, which is ancient beast. Okay. I might leave it. I like when the audience can snap onto a word and really understand it. It helps them keep the sentence structure. So like when they say the name of a planet, that just helps save some memory here. That just helps them follow the subtitles a little bit. So the galaxy will fear us once more. Transitions more into this accusatory tone. Where'd you find that Beskar spear? Like they kind of been grilling Din since he walked in. And if you remember how I started this scene, I think I put it in already. Like she's doing this prayer of remembrance for all her fallen brothers and sisters and just kind of ignoring the injured Din. Like she's more concerned about finishing her ritual in that very moment. Like this is so sacred she can't even stop. Okay, this is she's not like a jerk. This is Mandalorian culture. It's reverent above all things, above physical pain, above death, and that needs to be translated. And it's really interesting because, I mean, these words are the actual Mando'a numbers of 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is in Disney Plus, so they knew it. They knew what Mando'a was. They just didn't want to commit. Like all things they do, they get really spooked about commitment. Yeah, what's up, Punklahoma? I loved your I watched that Barbarian video the other day. That was cracking me up. I might have to put in a request for a game review from your character. Do you like the Death Watch theme? Yeah, Death Watch theme works really well here. For the voice lines, for the armorer, I mostly do text to speech. I'll sometimes let me find an example. I think it was like here. Like I have a few different lines here because sometimes they mess up the pronunciation a little bit. So sometimes if I see that, I'll like manually throw in a word from myself from speech to speech. But mostly, and then Din I mostly do speech to speech because you have to you have to do this kind of like throaty whisper when you're trying to get it to sound like him, even with the voice model. So, thanks, bro. Love that game. Subs blew up out of nowhere. Yeah, I saw that. A little sus of the engagement. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that happened with mine a little bit too. Like my channel. I mean, I did have like the one video that blew up, but I feel like it kind of peaked already. Like I could tell when it got pulled out of the algorithm. And again, this had like 10,000 views like 2 months ago. But then my subs have just kept crawling up. So I also am not sure. Definitely, I seem to get a lot of subs from the shorts. So invest in shorts if you haven't. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like at some point YouTube is just gonna like crack down and just be like, nope, all those were bots, and just like delete half my channel. So I don't know. It's weird how they work. But yeah, I think your concept for your channel is really good, and I think it has a lot of potential. Okay, where was I? So, okay, yeah, let's finish this review. This review helps me remember where I ended work last time. Okay. So she asks about the spear. Din says it's very powerful. I use it to beat Moff Gideon. Now I changed this whole thing. This is so moronic in The Mandalorian. Because what she says right here is that Beskar should never be used for offense, only defense, and armor. And she has to melt the spear down because it's a weapon of offense that can pierce Mandalorian armor. My girl, in Season 1, you are the person who forged all those whistling birds, which are made of Beskar, meant to penetrate Beskar steel as an offensive weapon. Indeed, also, the Beskad is like the traditional Mandalorian sword wielded by Death Watch. Forged from Beskar, which clearly this is an offensive armor penetrating weapon intended to kill. I mean, this thing is all over Star Wars Legends and canon. They wielded Beskar swords. So I have always hated that voice line from her. So I got rid of it. So I had to come up with something else. So I make her say she hates it because it's forged by an outsider. An Arutisi. Arutisi, is that the right pronunciation? Arueti. That's right. Arueti. What's the... Aruetise. Yeah, plural. That's what I'm looking for. The Aruetise. So she says it was forged by an outsider. That's why it must be destroyed. You know, it's improperly created. We need to smelt down that Beskar and make it into something proud, something honorable, rather than this outsider copy. I mean, you saw how in Season 1 they responded when they saw the Beskar had the Imperial stamp on it. It was like disgusting. Melt that thing down immediately. So there's a lot of things wrong with what she originally says. Couple chats here. Shorts do way better. Nice. 1K to 2K on shorts. Yeah, that's probably has a lot to do with your growth. When I check where my subs came from, it all just says like the browse channel and recommendations. So I don't know. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's not. I'm thankful either way. Don't tell me the truth. Joya uses speech-to-speech for Din, Paz, and the armor in the one scene you did, but that's because you were very specific about how you wanted it to come out. Yeah, you know, I try to get the vocabulary right now. This website has helped a ton. It's taking me 10 times longer to do, but, you know, it feels good to do things right. I'm not going to be a humongous stickler on all of the pronunciation, especially because there can be dialects of Mando'a. Certainly, over the thousands of years, many different dialects have developed, which can change pronunciation substantially. So I want us to be able to still like tell what words are being said, those of us who can pick up on a few words, which is probably like 0.001% of the population on Earth. But for that 0.0001%, this will be special for them. And it's worth it. You also find that doing a Boba Fett impression helps a lot with the Boba model. I cannot get a Boba model functioning. I can't get anything close to a functioning Boba Fett model. I can't do it. In book 6, I need some Boba Fett lines, and I had Mr. Goob do an impression for me. I cannot get an AI. If you have any advice on how to do that, I use 11 Labs for my AI stuff. Cannot get it to understand the Kiwi accent. So, the speech-to-speech, are y'all using things as like having yourself or an actor imitate them, and then the AI adjusts to sound like the movie actor? Crazy how fast everything is developing. I'll show you right now. I do it all myself. When I want to do speech-to-speech, I just come in here. I have a good model for Grandmaster Luke. I have a really good model for Fen Rao. So watch. I am Fen of the clan Rao, and I am a proud Mandalorian. Look how easy this is.
I am Fen of the clan Rao, and I am a proud Mandalorian.
So that's really all you have to do. For that model was always super quiet, so you probably couldn't even hear that. How about this? I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
So, usually I have to do like 10 takes to get it right, because you can hear how Jedi sounded a little odd. It sounded like Jedi with an N. So usually I record this like 10 to 20 times until it snags what I'm trying to say. And if you look at how it does it, it takes your speech, turns it into text, like memorizes your tone and speed, and then translates it. And you see how fast it does that. So, yeah, they have this like whole studio thing where you could throw like whole conversations on here, and you can just start recording like one by one. So I could you can take this and then throw it armor, and then you can replace it with a voice recording. So there's a lot of like big picture stuff you can do. It has sound effect generation. They are dominating the AI voice replication industry. Like the video one is pretty competitive. The voice, 11 Labs is just crushing everyone. I haven't found anything that comes close. Especially if you have 30 minutes of clean audio, it sounds absolutely identical. It's crazy. I remember not long ago everyone was using models and just feeding the OG actors dialogue in and hoping for the best. Yeah, I know that the speech changed the game, and also this feature right here changed my game so much. Being able to control the speed at which the line gets delivered. Oh man. Style exaggeration like puts a little emotion into it, but it leads to more vocal glitches. It really depends on your model. Sometimes you have to do it like 80 in instability mode. Sometimes I'm at 0, so I usually leave these there for most people. Sometimes I'll bring that down. And then speed. I can like control the whole tone with speed. And here's another 11 Labs tip. It doesn't know emotions too well yet, but if you do this and put it in quotes and then would say like, she yelled angrily, it kind of understands that this is an angry sentence, and it will be delivered with a little more intensity. You can put in like, she whispered softly, and they can't whisper yet, but yeah, lots of that kind of stuff. It's developing so fast, which is very exciting. Back to work. So it's an outsider weapon. It must be destroyed. Mandalorian Beskar must be forged by Mandalorians, not outsiders. Din's like, fine, forge it into armor. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. And she tells him he needs to start training with the Darksaber. He's like, I think that matched his facial reaction where he's like, shoot. You're gonna make me do that? Especially, I mean, he just tried to use it and almost cut his leg off. Let's see, Goob might have sent me some previews. Okay. Underground just need to swap. Okay. Might be able to show some more Malachor previews later. Sample of a Fett voice.
Star Wars, Legacy of Fett, compiled by Lucky Downs.
That's pretty good.
I show you catch him on Sublight Drive alone. But I fitted a few more. Let's find Chukunk against the head Hunter's airframe.
I bet if you like did enough takes, it could work on short phrases. But that man has like one of the most. He is like AI proof. He's got job security for the rest of his life because it's so unique. Good for him. Great genetics. So let's train with the Darksaber. Yes, Armor. Now, Din sits down as she starts to smelt down the spear. He asks about Bo-Katan. I've changed the Armor's attitude about Bo-Katan to be a lot more harsh than she was in the show. In the show, it's this whole, she's a cautionary tale, da-na-na, like pussyfooting around everything. No. The Armor hates what Bo-Katan did. Hates it. So she's going to come across like, yeah, we freaking hate Bo-Katan. Be careful of her. She is a traitor, essentially. So she kind of explains the story a little bit. She once tried to rule Mandalore by her birthright, and through the blade you now hold, but she did not earn this through honorable battle by Creed. Instead, it was gifted to her, disgracing our ancient history. Clan Kreese once held great power, but she turned her back on the way. She is a traitor, and her failures cost us Mandalore. And then you cut to the spear. I think that's such a great visual. Like, I mean, it's almost like she's threatening Bo-Katan from afar. What an incredible visual to go back and forth. All of that softness is gone. And she references her covert as being Death Watch directly this time, which is Kirstad. Again, this is something they pussyfooted around. It was like they were scared to make this covert come off as bad in any way. They wanted them to be these like super noble Mandalorians. It doesn't work when you come from Death Watch. and like the Mandalorian clan rivalry and tension is some of the best part of Mandalorian lore, first of all. Second of all, when you want to tell this story of unification on Mandalore at the end, this homecoming, how much better does it work if the whole movie before you've got all this division that you actually have to fix? In the show, like, everyone's all happy and hunky with each other the whole way through. I guess you have a little bit of tension with Bo-Katan and the helmet thing for a while, but oh, it's so weak. I want there to be like these lines drawn. Like Din is, I mean, on his shoulder, he's from Clan Mudhorn now, which is a kind of a dumb clan name. Like they actually call him Clan Mudhorn. And then they made Grogu, Din Grogu. None of it makes sense. They didn't use any consistency in any of that. Like, he should have established maybe even the Jaren clan. Like, make a new house, essentially. I don't know why he didn't take his adopted Mandalorian father's clan name. I mean, maybe that's where Jaren came from. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything else from Clan Jaren, though. So, anyways. She mentions Death Watch specifically. Yeah, they did. They had, like, so much drama that was just a layup to deliver on. And they were just so scared to make the Mandalorians seem contentious with each other, to make them come across as the bad guys. They tried so hard to make them heroes and all. Which, the beauty of the Mandalorians in the Old Republic era is like, on the surface, you think they're animals. Especially back then, and the poor history they had with the galaxy. But then, like, once you start exploring their camp and getting to know them, yeah, they're still rough around the edges, but you're like, okay, there's a little bit of a good heart somewhere in there. Like there's something respectable about how they treat honor and glory and loyalty. It's unlike any other culture in the galaxy. And you can't take that out of the clans. The clans never work together unless there's, like, a really unified Mandalore leading things. There's always these rivalries. So, yeah, they definitely missed. YouTube rumors are BS, but, like, the stuff like Kennedy sabotaging the Mandalorian, I start to believe it. Yeah. I mean, I have no doubt they were told, like, hey, we need the Mandalorians to be the good guys of this story. Like, we want to sell toys of stuff, and they're not going to sell if we're using this Death Watch cult. So, yeah, they neutered them. I am unneutering them. I am putting all of their testicles back on. And it will be glorious. So she transitions. Had our Death Watch not been hidden on Concordia, we would have perished in the Purge like the rest. Transition into the story. I added a bunch of, like, deep bomb effects. I know they're trying to do something with the total quiet. But I changed the voice line deliveries. Like, they have the armor start talking, like, here. I didn't think that worked for my pacing, so I moved around her voice lines and rewrote them, of course. So I wanted something to fill that gap, and I have these, like, really deep bass explosions where you can kind of hear the bombs below. And you can see I massively bass boosted this thing. What do you guys think? Should I add, like, a TIE bomber sound effect for this scene? This is like such classic World War II imagery right here. This is like the bombing of London and stuff. I wanted to have that sound of, like, the planes roaring above. But I don't want to take away from the ambiance of the scene either. Trying to find a TIE bomber sound effect. How different does the TIE bomber sound than the fighter? Hey, Luke. Start. Sounds pretty clean. That's just a quick flyby, though. Such a great sound effect. That's pretty good. Oh, that's, like, terrifying. I think I want like that. Oh, it's such a haunting sound to have in the background. Yeah, definitely. Not obnoxious. That like already did the effect for me that I wanted. Like this low hum in the background. I mean, it sounds like screams. Make sure I'm not crushing anything. What was it? Is it this one? Probably ambiance. Wide and deep. That's gonna be too quiet.
But Mian.
Yeah, I mean just something really subtle in the background like that. I might try the explosion preset instead. Gives me more reverb.
Anadityonet Johaich Mando Tala Shukla Tere Sol Nare. Rumoruta Te Oyula Tom Aden But Mian.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Anadityonet Johaich Mando Tala Shukla Tere Sol Nare. Rumoruta Te Oyula Tom Aden But Mian.
Maybe even a little quieter. Since there's like multiple different sounds going on, you just want to just be able to hear that iconic Thai sound. Again, it sounds like screams. It's such a haunting sound. I want a little bit more of it. Loop it just a tad. I want it to like fade into the explosion. It's like as they're away from the camera, boom, then the sound is gone. So this. Do you see how much? You see that sound effect I put in there? There's nothing in the show. It just does that blank. It felt odd. Because she's talking right here. So it definitely needed that, in my opinion. I gotta start this earlier, actually. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if I'm gonna do it, let's do it like before the bombs, actually, too. Let's try this.
Anadityonet Johaich Mando Tala Shukla Tere Sol Nare. Rumoruta Te Oyula Tom Aden But Mian.
I kind of want like a carpet bomb sound effect here. Like, I feel like we should be hearing these pops. Like in the distance. Yeah, that TIE bomber effect is fire. Huge fan. A couple things. We got the fans always push this line out. They didn't have a plan, whether they're talking about the show, the sequels, or anything that goes bad. But in most cases, it's clear to me they did have a plan. They were forced to change it at some point. Yeah, I think my recent Mandalorian video highlighted that. I think Filoni has a plan in his mind, but I do think he's a little bit of a pushover, and then he just gets bullied around to doing what the corpos want, the suits. Like, I refuse to believe Jon Favreau actively thought it was a good idea to have Lizzo in Star Wars. If that is the case, like, I would fire him. I don't care how talented you are at anything else. If you think that is a good idea for the storyline of Star Wars, you're gone. Out of your mind. Yeah, let's do a carpet bomb. Let's see if there's something free on YouTube I can find. Oh, we got some real... That gonna have horrible sound quality. It's definitely, if that was sharper sound, it would work. MW2.
Requesting air support!
That's not sharp enough. What's that video game sound effect website? Oh, you're not even gonna give me sound? Come on now. Carpet bombs are so freaking cool. War Thunder? Okay, that's obnoxious. 17 years ago? There's no way that's gonna have good sound. Dang. Apparently a carpet bomb sound effect is not a common thing. With sound effects? I might be able to work with that. I gotta like super bass boost it. This is interesting how that's not super common. Thought I'd be able to find this easier. What's that website for the video games? This one's in the lead so far. The first video you played had the right kind of sound. I couldn't tell. It was crunchy. That was. Maybe I can cover up the. I did. Yeah, that was my favorite. Just straight up. This is an actual like. It just gets like really distorted. Like it blows out the decibels. If I can find. Or was it this one? Oh, this. Oh, that's the one I did. That one was better. I'll play with that. This one might work. Maybe I can like... That one's so soft. What? Not on Modern Warfare 2? I put an extra E in. Is that what's killing me? What the heck? Oh, is that because, was that not released on this console? Dude, they have carpet bombs in explosions. That's nice. You have explosions, but do you have a carpet bomb? Where the heck is the download button? What, am I stupid? Do I just click that? Oh, I guess I do. Guess I am stupid. Here we go. Quick preview teaser. Goob is recreating the background of Malachor 5. That looks good. Beat me by bombs. Oh boy, what do you got? What are the odds I can just search carpet and something comes up? Son of a gun. They might not have that kind. Tree explosion. Oh, that sounds horrible. Yeah, this doesn't have it. Explosion distant. That would... If I made like 30 of those, I could do it manually. These have the right sound effect for one bomb. I mean, especially if I did like all of them at once. That one's even good too. Alright, I got a few options. I can make it manually with these for sure. Let's try if I can clean up the real life Air Force one. When I was in the Army, I was going into air defense artillery. That was cool, seeing all the anti-aircraft stuff. Only was active duty for like 35 days, but it was cool. Alright. So I wanted to hit like... So I need to start the explosions like here. I think I can make this work. Let me make... I think that will help it. Just give it a ton of reverb, essentially. Make it sound far away.
Oh,
that does nothing. What the heck? That's not bad right there. I gotta kill it before that guy talks. And there's a little delay. From this distance of the camera, there's going to be a very slight sound delay from the visual to the audio. I want to preserve that because that is what it would be like in real life. And the human brain picks up on those things. Even when you're not thinking about them and you watch something, they're still real. They still happen. Okay. It's a little too loud here. Close. All these messages go away. Plex server. Just close everything I'm not using. I need every ounce of memory I can get. Did my... Ayo. No way. It actually downloaded all those? I downloaded the, Holy cow. How did it download all of that? I didn't think it would do that for me. These are the Eddie Dean Andor edits. I want to rewatch the show before season 2, and dang, that's cool. Usually Mega like poops on you. It gave me like 50 gigabytes. I thought that was going to take like a week. Heck yeah, that's exciting. I'll be watching those over the weekend. Okay, Carpet Bomb. This was close. The sound cutting off was like really abrupt. That's odd how it... Even with that much of a fade. It's close. Maybe make it closer towards that.
But Mian.
Ah, it's so close. I don't know why it feels like it cuts off so abruptly there. The little firecracker pops need to stop there. I feel like the fade isn't doing enough. That sound effect is also like tricking my ear, I think. Because it's got this like big reverb. That might work.
Rumorutate oyulatom aden but Mian.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, we've got so much character to this scene now. Look at all... Isn't that crazy that anybody can just go in and add all of this and you turn just this really peaceful scene? This adds so much to it. Just those sound effects. These shows are not getting like a second pass. They're getting like shoved out for deadlines as fast as they can. I love that. Alright, good work. Onward and upward. So, yeah. Change the dialogue just slightly here. Night of 1,000 Tears, everything we built was lost. Fade back into real life. So instead of this whole thing that's just all passive, oh, Bo-Katan's this cautionary tale. No, this is very accusatory. She stands as the reminder that a false leader without honor destroys more than they rule. And now she's got this like mentorship onto Din. And we feel that, oh, is he like growing? Will he actually do better than her? Is he going to embrace this role? These are the good questions we want the audience to be asking, and now they are. Don't forget, and right into the task she's doing. He wants something for a foundling. Can I move that?
Something for a foundling.
This is the way.
For a specific foundling. Grogu.
Okay, this was so intentional for me to... Sorry, I got distracted. So intentional for me to switch back to basic here for a second. Because it shows the non-Mandalorian side of Din. So I wanted this to be in basic to show his fatherly role, that something in him is changing. He's got this other identity when he's talking about Grogu. When he's thinking about Grogu, he's not thinking about Mandalorian things right now. He's thinking about fatherly things. Though this is still very appropriate for Mandalorian culture. The request for armor for a foundling, very, very honorable thing to do. This is the way. That line works there. It's one of the few times that line actually works. And then he corrects her. Something for a specific foundling.
Grogu.
And immediately, boom, she's suspicious again. Doesn't like it. Snaps, look at him. It's no longer in your care. And she switches back to Mando'a. Trying to preserve her cultural identity. Versus what he is requesting here is, kind of fudging the rules a little bit. And this is where I left off earlier. So that's my review of everything I did since last time. We upgraded the history scene with beautiful sound effects. And now it's back to everyone's favorite part. At least one person here's favorite part. Boom! It's Mando'a time. So I want to say he is with his own kind now.
I want to see him.
Before Din does that, and I might have to revoice that. Definitely, probably will revoice that. Definitely, probably. Yep, that's what I said. So he is with his own kind now. Oh, I've got too many. Okay, I can delete you. What else? TIE Bomber, delete you. Mando'a. He is with his own kind now. This will be an easy one. How would you say that? Like belonging? Oh. One word. He is with his... It's almost like rightful. Yeah, that would work. He is with his rightful people now. His correct people. Oh, yeah. Shoya, is he and his the same word? I've had trouble finding the possessive forms of things. He, him. Yeah, what's like the possessive form of these pronouns? I don't know. Like they have a word for it, but like how do you say his? About no, none of that's the examples I'm looking for. So I studied Russian. I got a degree in it, and the way they do possessive nouns seems a little bit more similar to this. Like you would say, by him exists a book, and that's how you say his book. By him exists. So it's like by the gender is existing, essentially, than the noun. And I'm wondering if that's the same with Mando'a, because I don't see possessive forms, so I'm really not sure what the actual grammar structure is, but I might just have to make up a rule for it. They've got to have said, like, his in some of the books and stuff. I need an expert. Well, there's a lot of words to sift through. De vuelta. Might just go with Kaish for now. So he is with his rightful people now. And I want her to sound a little bit snippy here, because she doesn't like what Din is insinuating.
Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji.
I think that's a little too slow.
Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji. Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji.
I like the tone.
Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji. Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji. Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji. Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji.
It's close. Maybe even a little slower.
Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji.
No, I hate when it does that.
Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji. Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji. Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji.
Not too deep in the
Kaish kuirti kaish stabi adateji.
That might work. That one sounded pretty decent. There are only unique possessives in first person. Okay, so I got that right at least. I'm learning. This actually is like learning another language. And they say it is much easier to learn like a third language than a second, which I am finding that to be the case because, like we saw right there, I am using Russian rules to understand Mando'a now. Because you kind of learn how like different languages have totally different concepts, and it like bends your mind to think in different ways that it's never tried before, so it can just snag onto these other concepts a little easier. Russian was very, very difficult. I cannot do the auditory of Russian. I'll pick up like every 10th word someone says. Oh, it's so hard to hear. And especially because their mouths don't move. It's like very, very little mouth movement. So you can't read lips. It's just like that's what it sounds like to me when I try and do my auditory lessons. Now, it also has been 6 years since I last studied it, so it is certainly slipping out of my mind.
Make sure he's...
Do I still have my forge on here? I do.
Make sure he's safe.
I think I want to boost this. Okay, good. That sounds good with her. Now I need to replace Din's lines. So he goes, I went to see him. Make sure he's safe. Which is kind of... I don't know. It's like baby talk about the situation. I think Din can speak... He wants to like suggest that he should go see Grogu. So what would be appropriate here?
In order to master the ways.
And I am 1,000,000% replacing this. This is horrible dialogue in this section. I need to rewrite this entire thing. Alright, it's time to pull up the subtitles and write. Where did I have... I'm trying to find what drive my subtitle is on. Come on, where'd you go? I know I downloaded you. That's odd. Where did that go? I might have to download it again. Yeah, I cannot. I don't remember where I put that. This is why my drives get so bloated. Because I lose stuff on them all the time. Book of Boba Fett, episode 5 subtitles. Did you guys know all subtitles are just freely available online on tvsubtitles.net? It's this easy. Boom. There's my subtitles. Okay. Just helps me write better when I can visually see it as well. This is so stupid. Ridiculous. It's one of my worst lines in this show. It like pisses me off to no end every time I hear it. Okay. Good. So this is where I am. I need to rewrite all of this. I need to rewrite these lines right here. Din sounds like a baby here. I have no clue why the armor tries to teach Din about like old Jedi rules. And then he like tries to argue them. Again, I am moving with a Grandmaster Luke theme as well, so I don't want to be communicating that message anywhere. This whole forgo all attachment thing, like, the armor would just be wrong in saying that, and I don't want her to be portrayed as incorrect. And it doesn't make sense for her to even talk about the Jedi right now. Like, what, she's arguing on behalf of Grogu? Like, no, she's worried about her sect, her covert, rebuilding her stuff. And she just got the Darksaber delivered into her covert. Like, inside she is brewing with plans and ideas. So I need to keep the focus of this conversation on Mandalorian culture, not Jedi culture. She's not going to argue on behalf of the Jedi. So, let me pull up another document over here that I can start writing in. Let's see. Let me brainstorm for a second. Give me a moment of peace without distractions so I can write a script and then I'll present it for review. The challenge I also have is she still needs to say this. Like, she still needs to agree to make this armor for Grogu. So I'm going to have Din try to, like, pull on her heartstrings a little bit. Like, say, he was my family, my clan. He was more than blood. That type of thing. And then she'll understand then. She'll get a little bit of sympathy for him. I want it to seem just like not necessary or appropriate for Din to leave to do this. That's how I want it for her to be portrayed. Like what the heck? Like, that's not your duty. Why are you trying to do something that's not necessarily your duty? And then he's going to counter, hey, this was my son, essentially. I care about him. I want him to be safe. Then she'll kind of like, alright, I understand. Because she understands the familial bond of Mandalorian culture is unlike anything else as well. Oh, yeah. Alright, thank you. That's cropped a little bit off the side. Puts all it's not centered, unfortunately, in this. It's an SRT file. So that's what I'm working with. Working through this section. almost got something, I think. Let's see. Can I edit in here? Yeah, okay, that'll be good. So I want to delete this. This is Din. I remembered Jaster Muriel said something. I think he said it to Django that was like a Mandalorian phrase. I can't remember what comic. I mean, it's probably the... what's the comic of the... like the Mandalorians... the young Django stuff when he's foundling? Maybe I can write without that. Just that comic came to mind. Okay. So then, yeah, this needs to get gutted. They're not talking about the Force. Let's go A and D, A, D, A. No longer in your care, he is with his own kind now. I could say, like, I still want him to be safe. Insinuating that he really wants this armor made for him. And I want her to kind of snip back at him like, the creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a different path. I might be able to, that will probably go through that. I think I can delete that one. Then Din can say open seasons. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just thinking, I think Jaster Muriel in there says something about like a foundling is kin for life. Okay. I'll give Din a little more talking time. I want to say, like, Alit Orisha Tal Din means family is more than blood. I think that would fit here. Let's see if I can make that work. I'm not a fan of this, I think, actually. Family is more than blood. Alito Rishatel Din. Grogu was as a son to me. He needs to say one more thing here. I think that works. That's a little more Din sounding. And then she concedes because she understands what Jaster Muriel said, that a foundling is kin for life. Okay, let's record some of this. And other than this line, I'll put that in Mondo. But I think the rest will be basic. Which is going to be kind of hard to record for Din. Always stresses me out recording Din. It's difficult. Try text to speech first. It's just random what works with him. I have to change like every setting every time.
I still want him to be safe.
Yeah, you get it hates that. Usually you have to record the I differently. Yeah, robot.
I.
Well, what is that? Sounds a little lifeless. That. It's got the inflection. It sounds a little robotic. That's the right Din inflection. That was the best one so far. Save that. Let me try manual recording here. I don't like it. That sounds the most natural so far. That will sound natural like once I put the rest of the line in. I'll have both of them to work with. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe.
Let's try back to here.
I still want him to be safe. 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 I still want him to be safe.
No, it's struggling.
I still want him to be safe.
Ooh, that's see. So now I can take my first I that I did. I think I got the right lines that will work. Da, 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 da. These are my two I's. And this is my still want him to be safe. Oh, I want to get rid of that I. Throw some room echo with my preset. And let's give it a shot. Let's try one at a time, of course.
I still want him to be safe.
Let's go way quieter. Way quieter. That doesn't sound as good to me too, and that.
I still want him to be safe.
I don't like that I think.
I
Oh. Who saw that coming?
I still want him to be safe.
That's pretty good.
I still want him to be safe. I still want him to be safe.
I'm not super happy with it. Oops. Sorry.
I still want him to be safe.
Is it too loud? Maybe it just sounds a little too robotic right now. I might need some other takes.
I still want him to be safe.
In order to master the ways of the Force,
That's not too bad, actually.
I still want him to be safe.
This is my cautionary tale. Let's give it some more audio here.
I still want him to be safe.
Jedi.
Sorry, I'm looking at the sound effect for that spear.
In order to master the ways of the Force,
They don't even have it in there. Okay. Seems like there should be like a hissing noise.
Still want him to be safe. I still want him to be safe.
Not a huge fan of that yet. I don't like that. That sounds too robotic.
I still want him to be safe. I still want him to be safe. I still want him to be safe.
Let's try my other model.
I still want him to be safe.
Isn't that... You see how different this is? Din Season 2 voice. This one's trained on Season 3 voice. See how different he talks in Season 3?
I still want him to be safe.
That was pretty good. That might work with the room echo. That whole delivery actually might be the best option so far. Alright, it's water time. And then it's IPA time. This is a 3 Floyd's Turbo Reaper IPA. Never had it before. Oh, she smells strong. It's 7%. That's a strong can of IPA. Review? Ooh. Big fan of that one. Big fan. Great. Great flavor. Wow. I'm not even like a huge IPA guy, but they always have such great variety packs for them. Okay, let's try not using this one and use this one.
I still want him to be safe.
Oh no, it doesn't sound good.
I still want him to be safe.
It does not sound as good in here as I thought it would.
Still want him to be safe.
Nope, nope, nope. Don't like either of these. This is what Din takes me so long to get right.
I still want him to be safe.
Okay, the I sounds really good.
I
That sounds very Din. I think definitely that one.
still want him to be safe.
That sounds wrong. That is not what I want. Alright, let's try that again. I need this line. What if I don't make him hesitate?
Still want him to be safe. Still want him to be safe. Still want him to be safe. Still want him to be safe.
Don't like it. Let me try my voice with it. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe.
His voice, The way he speaks is so hard to replicate. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe.
Nope. It's having trouble with that last word.
Still want him to be safe.
No, it's all wrong. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe.
Talking too slow, I guess. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe.
That sounded better. I don't think I liked my own delivery there.
Still want him to be safe.
Yeah, if I need to get more emotion in it. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe.
No. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe.
Don't like it. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe. Still want him to be safe.
Man, the safe word it's having trouble. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe.
Too slow. Still want him to be safe.
Still want him to be safe. Still want him to be safe.
Let's give that one a shot. Might be a wee bit of potential there, yeah? Go, go. Go.
I still want him to be safe.
Then when you use the different models, it's going to be too different.
Still want him to be safe.
Well, that was a bad. Let's see.
I still want him to be safe.
That's pretty good.
I still want him to be safe.
A little bit quieter. Give me a little bit of fade on the front end.
I still want him to be safe.
I carried my S a little too long, so I might try to like chop off the first few frames of that.
Still want him to be safe. I still want him to be safe. I still want him to be safe.
I think that works. I'm happy with that.
Grogu. Grogu. I still want him to be safe.
Yeah, that matches the tone of how he was just speaking. I think even quieter on this. Almost like he's ashamed to say it.
I still want him to be safe.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, a little fade at the very end. A little sheepishness.
Still want him to be safe.
Yeah, that sounds natural.
Still want him to be safe.
Yeah, it's so much better than that other delivery. Good. Okay, back to the script. Still want him to be safe. The Creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a different path. I think this might be able to be text-to-speech for her.
The creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a different path. The creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a different path.
No.
The creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a different path.
Too slow, my dear.
The creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a different path.
That sounds like the armor. You guys playing any video games right now? Anybody a gamer in the chat? I've been trying to play through Divinity Original Sin 2. I beat the first one a couple months, 2 months ago. Enjoyed it. Good gameplay. Second one, I've never played Baldur's Gate, so I kind of wanted to get the whole Larian Studios experience.
Him to be safe.
The creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a
Jedi
different
must
path.
forego all attachment.
That is the opposite of our creed. Him to be safe.
The creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a different path.
Dang, how quiet.
The creed does not compel you to chase one who chose a different path.
Good. She could almost say something else there.
That is the opposite of our creed. Loyalty and solidarity are the way.
Yeah, so we're cutting that from poor Din.
What shall I forge for the foundling Grogu?
I think that's appropriate to also be in Mando'a instead. Because it's almost like she's honorarily inducting Grogu back into foundling status in a way. So I need to record this. Alit Orishatal Din. Let me get the right spelling for all this. Alit Orishatal Din. Orishatal Din. Aldin. Alit Orishatal Din.
Alit Orisha Taldin.
Too fast.
Alit Orisha Taldin.
It should be she. It sounds. Orishia Tataldin. Orishia.
Alit Orisha Taldin.
Shit, no. Maybe if I just do this.
Alit Orisha Taldin.
No, I put the. It needs to be Orishia.
Alit Orisha Taldin. Alit Orisha Taldin.
That's pretty good.
Alit Orisha Taldin.
Let's put that in to start. Make sure it works.
Chose a different path.
Alit Orish. Alit Orish. Alit Orishia Taldin. Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin.
Sounds too deep, actually, now that I have it in there.
Family.
Yes, that's what I wanted.
Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin.
This model is so hard to do.
Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin.
Don't like it as much. I think this one with a little more emotional delivery.
Alit Orishia Taldin.
He's talking so deep.
Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin. Alit Orishia Taldin.
It is so deep.
Alit Orishia Taldin.
Okay, that's the right octave now.
Alit Orishia Taldin.
Too fast, though.
Ali Torishiat Aldin. 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 Ali Torishiat Aldin.
I don't like how he's saying that last syllable.
Ali Torishiat Aldin. Ali Torishiat Aldin. Ali Torishiat Aldin.
That
Ali Torishiat Aldin.
that sounds better. And it's almost like he's saying it in an explanatory or argumentative type of way back to her, which I like.
Ali Torishiat Aldin. Ali Torishiat Aldin.
Let me in. We'll put it in quotes since this is like a very famous Mandalorian saying. There's more blood.
Ali Torish.
Because now it's like he's telling her a lesson, like reminding her of something she told him before. This is something all Mandalorians know.
Ali Torishiat Aldin.
Yeah, that works. Okay. So Grogu was as a son to me. That's going to be really hard to get the proper emotional delivery. These din lines take me so long.
Grogu was as a son to me.
Yeah, you see that? It's nothing like how I want it to sound.
Grogu was as a son to me. Grogu was as a son to me.
I might have to try this manual, no doubt. Did you like that? Grogu was...
Grogu was.
Oh boy, it's gonna have trouble with Grogu. Grogu was as a son to me.
Grogu was as a son to me.
Why was he so... Why did it do that pitch? Grogu was as a son to me.
Grogu was as a son to me.
Wow, it's so high pitched. Grogu was as a son to me.
Grogu was as a son to me.
Better tone. I got the pitch right there. I need to get the emotion into it. Grogu was as a son to me.
Grogu was as a son to me.
I have to make my voice so deep to get this. Grogu was as a son to me.
Grogu was as a son to me.
This is hard. No, yeah, I'm recording. Let's try back to here. Grogu was. Let's try that.
Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was.
It's not bad. It's better than I was doing with it.
Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was.
Why? Why would it think that?
Grogu was.
Okay, that makes it think it's like a different language.
Grogu was.
Well, even that?
Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was.
I hate the style. It makes him sound so sassy all the time.
Grogu was. Grogu was.
Yeah, you are exaggerating style.
Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was.
Let's try the one I got. See if it works.
Ishiat al-Din. Grogu was.
That does sound like him. It needs to be a little, like 1% slower.
Grogu was.
Too loud.
Grogu was. Grogu was. Grogu was.
Let me see how it sounds. With a follow-up.
As a son to me.
Son.
As a son to me. As a son to me. As a son to me.
Oh, he's speaking affirmatively.
As a son to me.
Oh, stop saying son.
As a son to me. As a son to me.
Not my favorite, but not bad.
As a son to me. As a son to me.
Yeah, a little bit of emotion in that one. I've been working on this scene for so long. This has been a monster of a task. I did not anticipate this scene taking this long to work through.
As a son to Grogu was as a son to me. As a son to me.
This whole scene in this catwalk thing is going to be so much more impactful now, though.
Grogu was as a son to me. Grogu was as a son to me. As a son to me.
Dang, this is making me feel for Din.
As a son to me. As a son to me.
That's a very nice, sad delivery.
Was as a son to me. As a son to me.
Good. That works really well.
That bond. That bond. That bond. That bond.
A little slower. I want him to be like, that bond. Almost like he thinks about it for a second.
That bond. That bond.
And he kind of did exactly what I just wanted.
That bond. 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 That bond.
You sounded a little too zandied out right there.
That bond. That bond. That bond. That bond. That bond.
That was more passionate. Okay, got 3 good takes to try.
Bond. That bond. Me. That That bond
That's pretty good.
is not easily broken. Is not easily broken. Is not easily broken. Is not easily broken. Is not easily broken.
James Bond.
Is not easily broken. Is not easily broken. That bond is not easily. That bond. That bond is not easily.
A little quieter. He's a little bit pensive with this thought.
As a son to me. That bond is not easily.
Still too loud on both. It's crazy how much the volume of something completely changes how your brain perceives the tone. All that. It's very important to get the volume right.
That bond as a son to me. That bond is not easily broken. That bond is not to me. Grogu was as a son to me. That bond is not easily broken.
What shall I
Good, 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 good.
what shall I forge for the foundling Grogu?
Just gotta work on the timing. I'm making that Mando'a as well. What shall I make for the foundling Grogu? Direct translation of foundling? Shoya? Is there a word for... What's the proper word for foundling? Is it just like child? Adik? Adik? For the child Grogu? Is that what I'm looking for? Adoption ceremony, vow, Kiranir. I guess that's what. There's childhood, no. Adik. Adik. So we can say for the Adik Grogu. Usually just use child odd. Okay. Is Adik just like the long form version? What's the difference in odd and... Oh, there you go. Okay. That one is a very specific age. Okay. I'm a fan. Thank you for the help.
Meg Kalir ni gotalor parte ad Grogu.
Too fast.
Meg Kalir ni gotalur.
Tell me if you see something wrong. That this is what I came up with for what shall I make, what shall I forge, make for the foundling Grogu.
Meg Kalir ni gotalur parte ad Grogu. Meg Kalir ni gotalur parte ad Grogu. Meg Kalir ni gotalur parte ad Grogu. Meg Kellier ni Gotalur parte ad Grogu. Meg Kellier ni Gotalur parte ad Grogu.
I hate when they do that with the last one.
Meg Kellier ni Gotalur parte ad Grogu. Meg Kellier ni Gotalur parte ad Grogu.
Still too fast. You're too fast for me.
Meg Kellier ni Gotalur
Okay.
parte ad Grogu.
No, it's slow.
Meg Kellier ni
Oh, come on.
Gotalur parte ad Grogu.
Comically slow. Clear, not from dictionary I use. Okay. Otherwise, it's mostly good. The translator doesn't conjugate verbs, which is done by removing the final R from the verb. Yeah, let me. What's the direct translation for clear? Is that what I have? Huh. This one has that as a word, but this isn't finding that. So I got like what? Meg. Yeah. Like should. Shall. Shall bear. Is that like bear a child? What's the word for... I've had this come up a few times for like should. You should do that. What should I do? What implies that meaning? I don't... That's what it's taking shall into, is kalir. But I can't even find that word. I mean, need? Is it like... Would I use it like this? Need, it takes a lot of days. Takes. Interesting. I don't need. That's a little different than what I want. Should. Is there like a would? What do you want? What would you like? Okay. That's would, but I need should. I guess I might stick with this dictionary. I don't know where they got that from exactly, but bear as in carry. There is not a single word for shall or should. Of course there's not. How do I communicate that idea then? I guess, I mean, you could say like, what do you want me to make for the Foundling Grogu? I think that probably works better for Mandalorian culture too, because yeah, I think that communicates the idea too.
Megvabirgar kopadniat Gotalor parte ad Grogu.
Not terrible. Like a little bit more emotion in there.
Megvabirgar kopadniat Gotalur parte ad Grogu.
That was a much better pronunciation of the name. I'm also running out of room in this scene. I gotta be a little bit mindful of the transition.
Broken.
Yeah. It's cutting me short. I'm gonna have to space some of this back a little bit.
Ali Torishia Taldin. Grogu was Ali Torishiat al-Din. Grogu was as a son to me. That bond is not easily broken. That bond is not easily broken.
Meg va virgar kopadni at gotalur parte ad. Parte ad. Grogu.
That probably works. Grogu.
Meg va virgar kopadni at gotalur parte ad. Grogu.
Nice. I think that does the trick. Yeah. Nikopani Nikotalapur at Grogu. How did I have it? It's a little different. What want me to make for child Grogu? Yeah. Oh no, you actually have it like as a second language in your mind now. Just automatically replaces words. I like your translation better, especially because it's shorter. And I need that time back. Me kopani nikotala par ad Grogu.
Me kopani ni gotalor para ad Grogu.
I gotta figure out how this word is supposed to be pronounced. Mekopani. Mekopani. Interesting. Okay.
Me chopani ni gotalor para ad Grogu.
That's supposed to be a K. She got the enunciation right.
Me kopani ni gotalur para ad Grogu.
That's good. That gives me a lot more time.
Gotalur Grogu.
Gives me a lot more time to work too, which I like.
Me kopani ni gotalur para ad Grogu. Grogu. Pani ni gotalur para ad Grogu. Grogu.
That bond is not easily broken. That bond is not easily broken.
Me kopani ni gotalur para ad Grogu.
Move those back a little bit.
Is not easily broken.
Me kopani ni
The translator translates the English literally. In English, we use do in questions, but vabir means to do, as in to execute an order. Oh. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. This site, I love. This is like so well formatted. All this here. It's really good. What is? I've never clicked this one. That's funny. Wow. Don't tell me you can read this, Shoya. Don't you dare tell me. Interesting. There's not like a translator like this on this website, is there? Dictionary is nice, but it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some grammar rules that you just gotta see used in sentences a lot to get a hang of it. Good info, though. Good work. Yeah, I love the ones that have examples. That's been like really helpful when it uses them in sentences. I know it's probably hard to do all that, but yeah. fauna. Yeah, wildlife. Yeah, that's so helpful when it has those. Those are cool. Great Mandalore. I was playing around with the armor creator the other day too. I don't think I saved it. No, these are other people's. Dang. That looks perfect. This is a really cool website. Oh, that's why you get called a buckethead. RC113. That's a pimped out Mandalorian right there. Classic. That's a good looking Mandalorian. That one's sweet. I'm getting distracted, but this website's so cool. When I was like 12, I would have been on this website for like 50 hours at a time. I was messing around the other day. This was my favorite helmet. I loved the Liege helmet. Trying to remember which chest plate I had. I didn't. Is there a save here? I didn't even look. I couldn't find it, but I like the. No, she's not updating. I'm glitched. There's no real good automatic translator that understands the grammar. Yeah, for sure. That would be super hard to program anyways. Oh, it's not putting my chest armor on. Get it. That's weird. It can do like the attachments. Is that something to do with like my helmet? My buoy, was it helmet's like buoy car or something? Cloth. Cloth always goes hard. I'm just having fun playing Barbie doll right now. Oh man, I don't know why that's not working. Oh well. Oh wow. Yeah, you could this website's so cool. You make your dream come true, Mandalorian. I would go with like I was making mine like a gold and black type of thing. It was looking freaking sweet. Anyways. Buche, yeah, that's right. Flight suit. Fingerless gloves. Getting emo with it. Share. Oh, okay, so you can like download it there. Extras, no capes. Oh yeah, pimped out. The fur. The boots and the furs. I'm just playing around. All right, I gotta finish this scene. I would eventually like to go to bed tonight. And I'm so close. I'm like right there. Didn't I finish? What am I waiting on? Oh, I just need to do the subtitles. You know what I just thought? Let me read your chat. The best Mando'a translator that exists is a person. If you send me scripts that you want a Mando'a for the following episodes, I could definitely work on. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it takes me so long. But I'm like, the problem is I'm like writing as I go through the scenes. And I'm like noticing the errors and so much of this is like dynamic that I build as I go along. So it's also helpful to be there and for me to see it at the start. But for some scenes, especially in my next book, I already have like whole scenes built out, and I'll be able to send you scripts for those. So ones I've already made, I will send you. The ones I'm like actively making, I got it to them here. Yeah, the character limits, yeah, for sure. Okay, what I just thought was, this is a dumb question. After I get all the right lines and all of that, it's hitting me that he already told her that he wants armor for his foundling. I need to say, yeah, shoot. I need to say, like, then I shall make armor for the foundling Grogu. Dang it. Why does she ask him twice? Like, she says, what shall I forge? He tells her, and then she ends. Is that actually what she says in the show?
What shall I forge for the foundling?
That's so dumb. He already freaking told you, dude. Already. Memory problems here? Yeah, alright. Back to work then. Okay, so I just need to change a little bit. How would I say, then I shall make, then I will make armor for the foundling Grogu. Beskargam. What is then? I don't think there is a then, is there? No, there's not a word. It's missing a lot of like basic words, which is really interesting. I mean, not like this dictionary. I just mean like the language itself. That's how it's constructed. There's not always that direct English translation. Oh, he's quick. Yeah, he's fast, please. Okay. Nigotalu beskargam parad Grogu.
Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu. Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu. Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu. Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu.
Is that good?
Nigotalu beskar.
Isn't it Beskargam? It's Beskargam. Okay, so she got that. Gotalu. Gotalu. Okay. Gotalu. See if that'll help her.
Nigotalu beskargam parat. Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu.
That was the right pronunciation.
Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu.
See if that works. It was the best pronunciation so far. A Grogu. Is it a thing to like roll your R's in Mando'a? Grogu. Mandalore. Is that? That's kind of how I've always like imagined it. Yeah, the apostrophes can make it up. I make armor for child Grogu. I dropped this. Okay, doesn't really add. Yeah. Mandalorians are direct. Why use big word when small word do trick? Some people roll their R's, some don't. The original author went back and forth. Okay, it's a dialect thing, you can say. Different accents.
Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu.
It's very different sound.
Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu.
These need just to fade in.
Grogu.
Fix the subtitles. I shall make armor for the foundling Grogu.
As a son to me, that bond is not easily broken.
Nigotalu beskargam parat Grogu. Nigotalu Beskargam.
Why is Grogu so... Why is she saying that so loud?
Nigotalu Beskargam Parad. Grogu.
That's good. That is... I'll have to do another final pass, like, through just an audio check before I finalize this, obviously, but... Oh, man, this has been one of the most extensive scene rewrites I have ever done. This thing has been a beast. There's not... I mean, this is the longest conversation in the entire show between, like, all Mandalorians. And when it's these three, it's gotta be heavy in the Mando'a. And thankfully, for this next part, all that's going to be fine. And then I'm going to throw up subtitles up here, just because I've been subtitling the rest of the language. So as she's doing her counts, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be putting them up. Very nice, very nice. And actually... Sorry, I had double soundtrack on.
Nigotalu Beskargam Parad. Grogu.
Ooh. Trying to remember. I just did all that work. I'm definitely using all that for sure, but I think I rearranged. Did I rearrange this? No? Okay, that's good. It must have been an old draft. I, like, moved the forging scene somewhere else. But I'm good here, yeah. Perfect. Okay, then we're going to cut. And my first frame is going to be ring world frame. I'm going to cut all of this. Oh, I like that change. I remember I did that. I need to replicate that. I think this moment works as a really good scene transition. Just that like abrupt grunt and push in the show. It does this like passive fade, this like really quick wipe. First of all, I hate that super fast wipes, and when George Lucas uses wipes, they're much slower than that usually, and it's either used to show like time has passed, or like we're taking the story to a different world. It wasn't just these like fast wipes like room to room, like different room in the Jedi Temple. Mando does those way too much. It was like they had a quota for how many wipes they needed, and the editor was just like throwing them in there at the last second. Okay, so we are good to pull the trigger on you. You've served your purpose, thank you. You've done well. But now I have a new apprentice. One far younger and more powerful. Woo-wee! Look at all of that work. Look at that. Oh, I can kill that too. Yeah, see, I killed that wipe too, because too many wipes in this world. Okay, make sure I got everything checked. It's gonna pull everything I want. 23 audios, 7 visuals, and a subtitle. That's my chunk. And ideally, if I did the frames exactly right, it should... It should line up. Boom! Oh, it did it. No, it went a little bit forward. It did. It cut into it a little bit. But that's okay because I know why. That's my fault. Before I copy and paste this, I forgot I did that one transition I was just freaking talking about. You just cut like right from the first white frame, get rid of that, through here. Cut. Give me some transitions. Make that one a little smaller.
Ever is.
See how much better that is than that like really crappy cheap looking wipe? Worth. Okay, let's redo this. I like those sound effects. How long have I been working? 2 some hours. Let me subtitle the next scene. That won't be too hard. Okay, now this should line up pretty dang perfectly now. Cha-ching! This is really anticlimactic. Son of a gun. Let's try that again. Cha-ching! What the heck is it? Stupid frame. Oh yeah, I remember I had to do something different with the fade. Yeah, that's why I cut like right to there, I think. Get my color grading back over everything. And there's my Mando'a. That is a solid, what is that, from minute 9:50. I mean, that was a good 9 minutes of screen time of complete gutting and rewriting this entire thing. I bet these 9 minutes took me like 3 hours the other night. I worked probably 4 hours this morning on it too, and then another 2 hours. Yeah, this was about nearly 10 hours of work, if you count the time I was thinking about it in bed in between these nights. Yeah, this took about 10 hours of work for 9 minutes. Crazy. Everybody hounding me for releases, like, oh boy, this is why. This is why they take a while, kids. Whew, but you can have pride. This thing is 1,000 times better than it was. 1,000. I want to watch this again. This part makes me happy. It just makes me happy to see my Mando names referenced.
Chantis vevut. Isu chui gar kiradik ni partaili gar darasu. Kudahan kadera. Isu chui gar kiradik ni partaili gar darasum. Durak ordo. Isu chui gar kiradik ni partaili gar darasum. Koblus kirata. Paz.
Look at that review. I have a floating space in there. How dare I?
Koblus kirata. Paz. Gatailikaish. Isu chui gar kiradik ni partaili gar darasum. Garo meril.
Oh, hello. See, you discover glitches in the Matrix in reviews. Where did that come from? Oh. That's funny. Wait, is that right? I'm lost in the sauce. Where did that glitch come from? That's supposed to be there, right? Yeah, that... Where did that audio glitch come from? Do I just need to continue this? Yeah, that's... I just cut the music track off too fast.
Garo meril.
And then these need fades. Oh, okay, this is for my copy and paste, so that they're just coming in really abruptly. These tracks need fades. Probably move you to like here. What up, Goop? Nice. I'll do one final audio pass of these 10 minutes. I don't want to just sit here and go through 10 minutes of listening. It's too many spoilers. You guys can watch this when it comes out. You know? Subtitle these numeros. Okay, we got... Got some clipping audio conflicts. Yeah, it's always hard when you have to blend the two different things now. Adobe never lets you see them both on the same level. Come on, it's so touchy. Please! Gosh dang it. I think if I just like take that and fade these. Excuse me. IPA making me burp. Goob, if you're still around, how many hours have you spent on this Malachor thing? How many hours did you spend on the wall animation? And now how many on the Malachor? Because I was just counting up mine for this one scene. That was freaking me out. Okay, I just need the music to go out a little longer. Just a little bit longer, should be fine. Dun, 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 dun. I recut this segment so much. Din looks like a moron in many parts. So I did a lot of edits to this, but let's get some good subtitles in there. I guess I have this, so it's gonna go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a million tracks. Alright, here we go. Solus. Here's the first one. She's starting to say it like here. So we get the scene change. Ding! Solus. One. Todd. Hooyah. 2. Should I do exclamation points here? Probably. 1. 2. 2. Oh, what up, Hardwick? You've been working away while I've been streaming. Yeah, probably similar. Yeah. Yeah, you're like constantly sending me stuff as I'm doing this. Goob is making some crazy Rebels edits right now. This is Adobe Premiere. I have really only ever edited on the Adobe suite. I know a lot of people like DaVinci Resolve. I started editing on this in like 2012, and I just haven't stopped. Anything else feels wrong. You know, as much as I hate and whine about Premiere, it's still very, very, very good comparatively. DaVinci Resolve is the next best, I would say. Yeah. I've heard DaVinci Resolve is a lot better for color grading, actually, than Premiere. A lot of people who are really into that say, yeah, it blows Premiere away on that feature. But like the dynamic links you have between Premiere and After Effects and Photoshop, that's what keeps me on it, is just being able to have like the composition in Premiere that is immediately linking to After Effects, and then Media Encoder. It's just having the whole Adobe suite together and working like that. I don't know if does Resolve, like DaVinci, does that have a equivalent of After Effects? I don't think so. The original season 2 finale was explicitly setting up Din versus Bo-Katan. I know. And honestly, I was hyped for that. Same. I thought Din, without Grogu, was going to step up to the plate of Mandalore. Yeah, I didn't know what Din was going to do. I thought there was going to be this like amazing rivalry, and then it lasted for like 30 seconds of conflict on Kalevala, and then suddenly she like loves Din all of a sudden, and they're like flirting by the end of the season. What in the world? I'll be fixing it, sir. Just you wait. Alright, here we go. And Solus. Really entertaining stuff here, guys. You get to watch me subtitle numbers. Who wants to distract me? Who wants to take me away from this? It's not hard. You don't have to do much. Resolve has a built-in After Effects alternative called Fusion. It's located in the... Oh, really? See, I've one of my coworkers likes Resolve a lot. He still edits mainly in Premiere, but I've only seen him do it. I'm really happy that for my job, I'm no longer in the video editing world. I did that 4 years professionally after college. And, I learned some stuff I learned on YouTube more than anything in life, honestly. But I picked up some good skills at those jobs. Now, I'm only in, like, pre-production, copywriting, and then I do sound engineering on set. And just set up the equipment and everything. And it's made it really fun to go back to editing. Especially because I had one creative editing job that I did really like, but then my current job is in television advertisements. So we do production for all those. And when you're just editing that stuff, it's not fun anymore. It's so corporate. The money is like 100 times better than the creative realm. If you can't crack into like the top echelon of the creative realm, of course Shoya likes these numbers. There's just not as much money in the creative world unless you're like super, super, super elite and have those connections to get on the big sets and everything. And for a video editor, nah. You gotta be like top of the world skill, and that I am not. But not having to do this for work anymore, now I can go back to editing for relaxation. I mean, it thankfully can become like a hobby again instead of work. Because it sucks when you're like editing for 8 hours at work on commercials, and then you get home and it's like, do I actually want to open up Premiere and edit for 3 more hours? So you got out of directing marketing for the medical industry. Soul crushing. Yeah, I absolutely love my company I work for now. It's the people, and it's low stress, very good pay. It's very scalable. Marketing has honestly been... I got a promotion when I was at this company. So when I started, I was doing really boring stuff, probably the first 2 years. And then about a year and a half ago, I got promoted to a manager/director role. And I've actually really enjoyed it. Because I still get to go on set with everything. I enjoy the pre-production side of things, planning out the shots and all. Medical industry, huh? You like the medical industry now? She's at one. God. I almost typed Todd. Oh no, it's happening to me, Shoya. My brain is putting in the Mando numbers. What was it? Solus Todd Iron, Solus Todd Iron. Come on, give it to me. 1, 2, 3. Is that where she says cure? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I thought she said 1. Let me listen.
Solus.
Oh, okay. Okay, so she says 1, 2, 3. She says it like as she's spinning. Logic. Just want to look at what the effects they put when they make contact. Just white sparks. Dang, like how are you not scared your fingers are gonna get sliced off there? My goodness. She's choking up on the weapon way too much. How did you not lose a finger right there? Will the armor remove her helmet in the Mando movie? It's a great question. I hope so. Not even for story reasons. She's just a good-looking gal. She looks, and that's the behind the scenes. I don't know. I'd have to think about it for. Man, I don't know. I think the Mando movie is just like cooked already. I don't know. I don't like. I sat and tried to rack my brain so hard. If I could direct this Mando movie from scratch, what would I even do? And I was like, it feels like an impossible task. It's already bonked. They messed it up. How do you fix this? I don't know if you can. Oh, here we go, Shoya. The way she says "for" always bothers me because accents are one thing, but she says queer like cure, which means decay. Yeah, she definitely like read that off a page and just said it, and nobody on set knew the difference. That's why they should hire you, my man. Send in the application. You should just say you are the greatest Mando'a expert on the earth, and they need you on set for all review. Emily Swallow. Is that her name? Yeah, Swallow. That's what I'm saying. She's a pretty actress underneath. I feel like they're going to do that eventually. Yeah. Yeah, they probably will just because she's attractive. Oops. Four. I mean, it almost sounds like she says four. It's more than queer. Cure.
Solus.
That is because you're fighting the blade.
Solus.
Sick. Back into it. We're just adding this. Like, adding these subtitles after we already have so much Mando'a is... Yeah, at least she's not saying, like, Solace. Or Tad. I think you would have a aneurysm if you heard her say that. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Look what he's doing. He's masking everyone's steps. Whoo, boy! What a beast. What's more tedious? What he's doing right there? masking their every movement so he can get those mountains behind them, or me subtitling 20 Mandalorian numbers in an action sequence. Two. Hardwick, do you know about Vocoder? It's a video encoding program that can be used with Premiere, Vegas, and Resolve. It allows fine-tuning the encodes for maximum quality and exporting in nearly any format. I have never used that. I have not. I'll look at it right now. Oh, it's based on FFmpeg? I use this all the time. Interesting. I'll try and watch a YouTube video on it first. So what? It's just a better Adobe Media encoder, is what you're saying? Huh. I put the smallest picture with terrible resolution. So interesting. Yeah, I'll watch a video on it and see if I should check it out. Shoya would apply, but they clearly don't want anyone who knows anything about Mando'a. Oh, take it further. They don't want anyone who knows anything about Star Wars. Otherwise, they would have hired someone 8 years ago when they say, yeah, no, that's very true. They just don't care about that stuff. Sad. Kind of want to cut down the series down even more than you have. I'm racking my brain wondering if the 4 seasons could go down to 3 movies. 3. Yeah, honestly, you probably could. I'm trying to think when Smudger did his videos, his edits. He made Mandalorian edits, and his philosophy was 1 edit per season. I thought it loses a lot of character development when you do that. But you could absolutely have a very functional plot by doing that. The Joy of Editing channel was telling me he had a project where he was cutting down all 3 seasons into 1 movie. I don't know. That's wild to me, but 3 3-hour movies. Maybe, yeah. I'm thinking, like, with my series, I don't think it even... Like, I have 6, and I don't think it has any weak parts. Like, there's... all 6 of my movies, none of them are like, yeah, that one is the weak one of the bunch. Maybe you could say book 3, I would probably rank that the lowest just because it's like the least cinematic feeling one, just with the events that happen. But none of them are like way below the others. Of course, I think book 4 is the best. I'd probably rank my movies so far. I'd go 4, 1. I'm always torn on 2. Yeah, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then I mean, I haven't sat down and watched this cut yet, so I can't even rank this one. And then book 6 isn't even finished enough to rank. Mando season 1 still 1 basically. Boba past story, and season 2 is 1, and Boba's past 2. Hey, if you got a plan, go for it. Boom. One, 2, 3. Oh, she says it so fast. She's just like swagging out on him right here. This is embarrassing. 4.
Pure.
It gets heavier with each move.
See that cut I made there? You see how freaking smooth that was? You know what I cut out? I cut out this nonsense. That cracks me up every time with how stupid it looks. My guy. Okay, you're in like... You're even on center right of the crosswalk. You swing, move to like center left. And then you just... Look at that jump! How are you swinging with that much momentum where you go like that? It would be one thing if you like try to catch your balance and you do that like arm wave, and then you like tip forward. But he commits, yoink. And then I hate how he just like, I guess you get that little blur of him at the end. He just like disappears. And then it looks so weird to me. It's so smooth when you just go like that. It looked like he swung, ended up on his knees, and just hits the ground. The only parts in yours that your fam thought was slow were the Bill Burr acts in movie 1 and 4. Pretty superfluous. Yeah. Yeah, the prisoner episode does feel a little bit slow in book 1, you're right. I like it. I love Bill Burr as an actor, so he keeps me entertained the whole way through. But yeah, those episodes are like less plot focused. They definitely feel a little side questy. So when it's in like a 3-act movie structure and one of the acts kind of feels like it's... You can get away with Act 1 feeling like a side quest in movies, but the problem is in the series of events, it like forces those into Act 2s, which is weird for the pacing of a film structure. So definitely could understand why some people would think those are the slow parts of it. I still find them very fun just because I like the performance of the characters. But yeah. Preview for Goob. There we go. He's just trying to do that one. Nice. This world, have you ever noticed like how flat and nothingness this world was in the Rebels show? Trying to give it some texture. Good stuff. Cure. Swings onto the ground.
It gets heavier with each move.
That is because you are fighting against the blade. You should be fighting against your opponent. Stand up.
I'm going to leave this in basic. Deliveries are very good. I think it makes sense for Din to speak basic right here. And her deliveries are really good on this catwalk. Good acting.
Be fighting against your opponent.
And this isn't like a cultural moment. We're just practical talk right now.
Stand up. Solos.
Oh, there we go. Subtitle needed. 1. Oh man, I'm out of control. No, it's happening to me, Shoya. It's happening. The numbers are just blurring. I'm not even noticing. Like, I hear Solus and my mind just automatically thinks 1, and I just type Solus instead because they are one and the same. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go again. Here we go again, boys. 1. How many times have I typed these out now? 2. On. 3. I made this moment so much faster. I took out like the slapstick comedy type of effect on it. I just like sped it up so it wasn't this like ba-donk. It feels like an actual attack now. See how much faster I have her do that? Like she sees the open, like this makes her seem elite. It's cool. Yep, definitely going back and forth with the basic and Mando'a. And you want the Mandalorian language to feel spiritual and used in like those important moments of like we are speaking as Mandalorians and Mandalorians alone. This conversation is not for outsiders. Aruatishe. It's not. Oh, I said that wrong. Aruatisi. Oh man, Joy's gonna be mad. I'm working on it, but it's good to have the basic stuff be in basic, and then the reverent stuff be in Mando. I made a cut there too to speed things up. I forget what did I cut? Yeah. Sometimes even removing like 2-3 frames from a swing, or even removing like every other frame, just makes it seem fast. The duel between Rey and Kylo Ren in Episode 9 on the water, when you delete, like, that is the slowest lightsaber fight ever. It's horrible. But when you like remove frames inside of all of their swings, you remove like every third frame, every other frame, it just makes it seem like they swing so much faster. So that's a little technique. Quarter crew interviewed the armor stunt woman. She said when she hit the stormtrooper stuntmen with the hammers, they kept telling her to hit her. They kept telling her to hit harder, even though she was breaking their arm. What? They're like real life purge troopers. What's that line? If you've played the Jedi Fallen Order games, those purge troopers, like you cut them with their lightsaber, like, ah, pain, give me more. Ooh.
There. Feel it.
I think she says.
Feel it.
She says there.
There. Feel it. You are too weak to fight the Darksaber. It will win if you fight against it. cannot control it with your strength.
I want to try again.
Persistence without insight will lead to the same outcome. Your
See, like, this is great dialogue. That would probably be a cool sentence in Mando'a, but I'm fine with
Persistence
this.
without insight will lead to the same outcome. Your body is strong, but your mind is distracted.
I am focused.
The blade says otherwise.
Maybe the dark saber belongs in someone else's hands.
This I might start to throw in Mando'a instead of here. Because now we're back to something very Mandalorian culture-like. So I'm probably going to have to recut this. Stunt woman said they filmed that forge fight in one day. It took hundreds of takes and they kept having to replace all the broken armor. Yeah, I remember that fight. Interesting. That's kind of cool. It definitely had some choreography flaws. I had to edit that scene a lot. I really like the way I did it. I have it on my YouTube channel.
Downriver.
So I just re-edited the scene a lot to make it look a lot more intense.
Now, ne,
I said, where are they?
Cha. Da, wei, ga, ra, doka. So yeah, this is gonna go Mando'a.
Maybe the dark saber belongs in someone else's hands.
Maybe.
Is there a word for maybe? I'm gonna call it a night here soon, guys. I don't have it in me to take another conversation. Yeah, heck yeah. Right. So yeah, this is like a moment where, all right, back to business. Enough messing around. It's Mando'a time. Like, this transition, great for base chunk of basic. Boom.
Maybe.
It was forged by my ancestor, founder of House Vizsla.
Yeah, definitely, because I need to change that too. It was forged by the Tong, sir.
And now it belongs to me. And now it belongs to me.
I like this moment from Din. It's a little bit of swagger. Like, nah, this is mine. I want it. It's mine. I mean, what Paz says here is like a BS excuse. It doesn't make sense. I'll change it to probably say, like, that blade belongs in Clan Vizsla type of thing. He can't take ownership of it just, you know, without battle. Like, what, he wants Din to just give it to him? Because it... No, I'll fix that.
And now I will win it from you.
Do you agree to this duel, Din Djarin?
Yeah, this needs to be Mando'a. For sure.
I do.
Heck yeah. This will look so epic in Mando'a. It will elevate the scene so much. If you're still there, Shoya, what scenes did you primarily put into Mando'a when you were doing your edits? This is good stuff. This is great stuff. It's so good because this highlights, like, there's no crowd. This is just, I mean, this is all like on the honor system. which is what both of these men like embody. So just changing the language will help this moment a lot, which I'll do next time. There's a few moments in this duel I already edited. I don't even like that. Like, what just happened to him? That looks really weird. He gets shanked in the shoulder. But it doesn't... I get it's a vibroblade, but just the movements look really... Either that should be doing, like, a crap ton of damage. I mean, that should be, like, slicing him open. That's probably in between the... It looks like it's in between the shoulder plates. I'm gonna get stuck editing a combat sequence. I think I want to go, like, from there right to here. Watch that tonight. I got distracted by chat. Never actually made... Oh, hold on. Great episode of The Mandalorian here. This felt like what Season 3 was supposed to be, for sure. Yeah, the whole season should have been like this theme. Never actually made any Mando'a in my feature edits. The only scene I translated and voiced was the covert scene from Season 1. Oh, interesting. Okay. Terrible episode of Boba Fett, yeah. No, Boba Fett's the star of this episode. What are you talking about? Translated some other scenes in an entire chapter, but didn't do anything. The Quarter Crew with the stunt woman, who is named Lauren Mary Kim, is titled Stunt Women React to Bad and Great. Oh, I love their React series. She also doubled for fun. Oh, that's cool. Nice. She's a beast then. Sounds very talented. Yeah, I like the VFX React series. Yeah, that works better than this weird, like, I'm dragging the blade all over your body and nothing's happening. I want to give it a couple more frames here, I think. Yeah, like, that movement doesn't make sense. I want to make it look like he just grazed maybe his flesh. Just a tad. So give him a few frames back. I need to go. Why am I getting... Yeah, that's it. Look at how much I changed this. So this scene where he swings his vibroblade and it just gets chopped in half. In this one, it's got this like really like comedic. Huh? And then you get this like really weak elbow strike, which that's gonna hurt so bad to throw your elbow onto a Beskar helmet. So I changed some of the comedy just to make it like boom. I guess we'll say he made contact with like the forearm plate. It does make the ring, so we'll say that. But I just get rid of that thing where you're like, huh? He looks at his blade. I hate those delayed reactions in these fights. Go. I'm gonna have to call it quits here. My mind is just like skipping over the details. The sharpness is gone. The fatigue is setting in. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'll probably edit it again sometime this weekend. Not sure about tomorrow. Maybe Sunday night. We shall see. Good work. This film review is taking a long time. Look how much I still have to go. But this will be so much better than the last draft version I released many moons ago. Has Star Wars been pretty consistent on white subtitles? You like the yellow ones, Greedo? Yeah, I color matched the ones they had in the Mandalorian. They did change it at some point. I think Disney wanted to do their own thing. I could go back to the original color, but when I was making them, I was just trying to copy what was already in the Mandalorian, but it's worth looking into. Couple more chats here. First line before the fight. Oh, I need to say that. Thank you. I'll copy and paste that right now and save that somewhere. Just gonna throw it in here, actually. Seeks hands of someone else. I love that phrasing. Good. Thank you. Last translation of the night. Good work. Just remembered that Lauren Mary Kim also doubled for Elektra and Daredevil. Whoa. And the Defenders. So she's making pretty good money, it sounds like. Feels like it makes it more active. There's no word for belongs. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I know this is going to be like the first time you've like experienced the whole season 3 story essentially, so yeah. You'll probably like once I release everything, if you haven't watched the updates of 1 through 4, I would probably watch the final releases of those 4 and then just I would love to have my whole project out. Book 6 release on May 4th. That's my goal. You can see how long this takes me. And these have been like a couple good weeks where I do have a lot of extra free time. Sometimes I get busy and just miss like a whole week of editing. I usually travel like once every other month for work and it takes me out for a whole week. So, yeah. We'll get to it. I don't like making strict deadlines, but it's coming along for sure. That's a wrap. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Peace, love, grace, all of those.